Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan. Today we're going to do my Four Roses lineup. Now, the one that I'm missing that probably should be up here is the Four Roses Small Batch Select. I did see that. Today is April 1st, April Fools, as I am recording this. I saw a bottle of that when I was in Spearfish, South Dakota 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was $62.99. All said and done, that's probably a fair value for that whiskey. However, I just wasn't really willing to cough up $63 at the time, because I mean I like Four Roses, but I'm not in love with it at all. To me, it's just another bourbon. Um, and maybe this lineup right now today will make me change my tune on all of that. I do remember about 2 weeks ago, I gave myself a pour of this regular yellow label, and I was very impressed with it. I was like, hey, that's actually much better and more flavorful than I remember it being. However, I'm trying to be more choosy with the bottle purchases that I make, and so I just didn't really feel like coughing up that much money. I bought that bottle of Bowman Brothers small batch instead. Very happy with that purchase, by the way. And so I've not seen it anywhere in Wyoming. The small batch select. I've not seen it anywhere in Wyoming, nor have I found it anywhere here in town. And so I am missing that kind of out of the core lineup, if you will. But I do have the single barrel, the small batch, and then the yellow label. Yellow label is ringing in at 40% ABV. The small batch is 45% ABV. And the single barrel that I have is 50%, warehouse number QS, barrel number 28-6 U or V. I'm not really sure what that letter is. So those are the bottles that I have before me. I paid. Now I have not purchased these in a while. Let me see if I can get a date on these. 2020 is when I bought pretty much all of these. So for the yellow label, $17.89 for the small batch, $27.09, and for the single barrel, $46.99. Now, I will say for a single barrel, $47 is pretty cheap. And for both of these being under what? So $27 for that. Okay, maybe not too bad there. But let's just get going. These are glasses A, B, and C. We'll pour, we'll mix them up, we'll see what we get out of them. It actually has a pretty good smell to it. I can see my cork starting to dry out on this. So, word of advice to you, see, I was able to get some on my hands. If you have a large whiskey collection or many opened bottles, such as I do, you need to do your best, maybe once a month or every other month, go through, shake them up, try and get the corks wet, because you need those corks to actually seal, because if they're not sealing, then like this one's actually coming out in my hands, which I'm not a big fan of that. That means that air is getting in there and the alcohol is evaporating, and over time, that is going to change that whiskey. So I may try and find a different cork for that. Here. Our small bag or single barrel. So there we go. Let's get into Four Roses. So we got 80, 45, and 50% ABV. And our top dollar was, once again, $47. So we are going to mix all of this up. And I am coming off the heels of the Wyoming whiskey review that I just did with the 6 different bottles, or the comparison. So we'll go right to left, left to right, right to left. Here we go. Good thing these are a little bit lighter proof. From the get-go, I'm not really getting anything out of the nose on this one. I'm not getting anything, but, as far as in the glass goes, it has some legs. It's not bad. But on the nose, oh, there's a little shot of caramel. A little shot of graham cracker. Not getting a whole lot, though. As far as flavor goes, nice, light, a little sweet, honey in there. And then it moved into a graham cracker. Graham cracker was like the mainstay of the middle of the palate. Finish was a little meh, and nothing real, no real depth of flavor. It was nice. It was light, start to finish, very easy drinking whiskey. Had a lot of sweet notes. There was just a little bit of dryness on the tongue at the finish, and maybe just the slightest hint of either proof or maybe like a black pepper in there. Very slight, very light. Mostly sweet, light notes, largely indistinguishable. That almost had a cherry to it. Yep, cherry. Almost a cherry blossom, almost leaning into a floral character. Very light in the nose again. Again, honey for the sweetness. Maybe just a small touch of brown sugar in the back. I'm going to put that one up front. The exact same flavor profile for the most part. More density to the flavor. The flavor characteristics were more distinguishable, but it was sweet, caramel, honey, graham cracker, florally apple, with just a very nice light wood oak finish on it. No faults at all. It wasn't bitter to me. It wasn't anything. That one definitely is standing out above that. And now the last one. Flip the glass, warm it up, see what we get out of this. I'm getting absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I almost got a little brown sugar. It's all I can do to find just a little bit of sugar, maybe a little bit of oak in there. Super, super light. Now it's moving more into a honey. It's just really hard to get anything out of that. On the palate, kind of drink like water. Pretty thin. Nothing off-putting. The sweet up front, sweet, light, nice graham cracker finish. I'm gonna put this one in the last place. If I had to guess, I'd say this one's probably the yellow label. It drank like the lightest proof. If I had to guess, it is yellow label, single barrel, small batch. I don't really know. They were all good. This one definitely had a lot of those nice sweet characteristics, but they weren't very definitive. They didn't let themselves be known very much. It was a very thin profile. So, slug of water. We'll come back through it. And we'll see how we do here. Yeah, just nothing jumping out of the glass on this. Flavor profile is still pretty thin. It was very honeyed forward on that one. Moved into a really, like, if you can picture a caramel, like a caramel drizzle that you make that's the same color as this whiskey. Kind of had that into the finish. And then that was where it just kind of ended. There wasn't a whole lot there. That's my last place. Move back to this one. It really deepened and got more rich in the caramel. Caramel, and then an apple on the back end of that. Almost an apple flower, apple blossom. But man, just a really rich, dark caramel leaning into a dark brown sugar. Definitely has the most, out of the two so far, the most density in the nose. On the palate, it really went a little sideways on me. It was a sweet note with like a very dry cinnamon, not a sweet cinnamon and not a spicy cinnamon, but just a dry cinnamon in there. Definitely didn't get that at all out of the first one. And then it went into a graham cracker finish, and then it just kind of hung there. So going back now, that did not have it had an amazing nose on it, but the density of the palate definitely diminished a little bit. So let's see what this last one does. And we may end up switching those two. We'll see. The nose is lighter. That one definitely has a denser nose. But it's very, very sweet caramel honey, like clover honey, and a nice milky caramel up front, and a little bit of light fruit in the back, either an apricot or either an apricot or an apple. On the palate, creamy, not as dense. This is the most dense, rich mouthfeel. And then this one, sweet, caramel, a little bit of graham cracker on the finish, almost a bready characteristic on the way back through on the finish there, like a wheat bread. I'm kind of torn between these two because going this way, I liked my order going this way. I'd almost switch those. And it's really hard to say because going back right to left, this one had the more dense, complex palate. But going the first way through, this was almost twofold as dense and rich as this one. So, and I don't dislike any of them, although this is very thin. I'm going to keep my order. So number 1 is C. C was the single barrel. That's our number 1. Number 2, B. Four Roses small batch. And that makes number 3, the yellow label small batch, or the yellow label, just regular 80 proof bourbon. So pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. And again, I had no clue what was what. I didn't pay attention at all. But that's something that really goes to show, if you weren't already aware of the impacts of proof on flavor and nosing characteristics. The more proof that you have, the more you're going to get richer, denser notes, which is why you'll often see whiskey reviewers saying, "Oh man, I really like this. I would just like to see it at a higher proof," because at a higher proof, you just get more of those rich characteristics coming through. And this particular setup really brought that to light and showed that even at 50%, 100 proof, it was no comparison between this and 80 proof for sure. I mean, this drink just slightly flavored up from water. And this small batch actually came through really nice. But it wasn't as good, I don't think. And the small batch select that I haven't been able to get, or I had my opportunity, but I didn't buy it. I would be curious. I would like to try and find it for like 40-50 bucks, and maybe try it before I buy it, before I throw it into the mix here, before buying one of those. But also, if I could get another single barrel. Thing with single barrels are, you never know what you're going to get. And so you can get those honey barrels, you can get stuff people just rave about. My Henry McKenna 10-year that I have, that's one of those ones that people just rave about it. I got it. My single barrel, it's a single barrel product, 10 years old. I paid 75 bucks, which is pretty spendy. And it was okay whiskey. It wasn't bad, it just was okay whiskey, but it wasn't anything near what the raving reviews were that I had seen on it. And I think that individual quality that you get from a specific barrel really shines through. I think that makes it really fun with single barrel products, but also it makes it where I really just want to spend, less than $60 on a single barrel product. Like, I like the gambling aspect of it. Like, you never know what you're going to get, but when you get those lower quality, less than what you expect barrels, then it really kind of kicks you in the shorts if you're spending good money on stuff. So anyways, that is my Four Roses review. Sorry, I only have the 3 bottles. Drop in the comments down below what you think of Four Roses, what your experiences are with it, and maybe what I'm missing out with not having this small batch select in the lineup here. You know what? I like the Four Roses. This is probably more of a mixer than anything for me. Even the single barrel, this is kind of in line with like just the standard Buffalo Trace to me as far as flavor profile and what, like if I'm drinking on a neat pour, it's I don't know. I don't know what the time and place is for it. If I just want to kill a bottle with a friend or something, that's maybe what I'm drinking. But it's not something that I'm reaching for or hunting down. Let's put it that way. I know a lot of people really like Four Roses. Again, I have no faults with it. It's good bourbon. It's just nothing mind blowing. And so I guess I wouldn't go out and spend outrageous money on anything. Um, Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Please do that. Share this out to all your friends, anybody who you think might appreciate a good comparison review of the Four Roses lineup. And as always, thanks for watching, you guys. Have yourselves a great day. Next video sequence, I got to hunt down, believe it or not, I could not find, let's see, 2 weeks ago, I went out, tried to find a bottle of 1792 small batch. Could not find it anywhere in town. I have 3 different 1792s right now. If you go back to, it was like my first, second, third review somewhere in there that I've ever done was on 1792. And I don't know if we just got a bad bottle or what, bad in air quotes, but I remember doing the review. Now, granted, it was early on in my whiskey journey, and so maybe I didn't quite have a palate that was as developed as it is now. But I remember it smelled like nail polish remover. It had not bad flavors, but it just wasn't anywhere near what everybody else was raving about. Since then, I've watched many other reviews, and many people had multiple bottles where they're like, this bottle was really good, and this bottle really wasn't. So maybe there's a flavor drift component or a quality control component to it. And so that kind of got my curiosity piqued. And so the other day I was like, hey, I'm going to go buy a bottle of 1792 because, for years and years and years, it was everywhere on all the shelves, easy to come by, especially the small batch. It was like 25, 27 bucks, something like that. I have a full proof, a single barrel, and maybe a bottled and bond or something. I don't really even know what I have, but I have 3 other bottles right now. And so I was like, hey, I want to get this other bottle so that I can do a comparison video, and wasn't able to find it. So I'll keep my eye out for it, and we'll see if that comes to light here anytime soon. And if I do, I'll do my 1792 review. Also, I think I'm going to do my Buffalo Trace distillery review. I will throw my Blantons into the mix, so I will do Blantons, Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Weller 107, my E.H. Taylor, and I might throw that Bowman Brothers in there, even though it's not a Buffalo Trace product. But the distillate starts from Buffalo Trace, so I might throw that in there just for fun to see how it all shakes out. But I think that's what I'm going to end up doing with those. So we'll do the Buffalo Trace distillery. I think that will pretty much, those two will round. Well, I got Elijah Craig, but all I have from the Elijah Craig is I have the what do I got here? The small batch, the cask strength, and what is this one? Small batch single barrel select. So I have a single barrel, the regular small batch, and and then a cask strength. So I don't have a lot of the Elijah Craig. So I got 3 bottles, but that might be enough to do a review of those. So 1792 Elijah Craig Buffalo Trace. Those will be the next videos. And then after that, we'll start getting into my Scotch lineup. We can go through Lafroig's, we can go through Ardbegs, we can go through the Lagavulins, and Talisker is the other one. I have 3 different Taliskers, and then I have only two Bunnahabhains, and neither of the 2 that I have are the peated one. My wife and I drank all of the This is Bunnahabhain, the Toiticha da, or whatever it is in Gaelic. I don't speak Gaelic, so I'm sorry if I destroyed that. But if I need to find another replacement for this, and if I can find that this was a peated Bunnahabhain, which was absolutely outstanding. I'm already making my list of replacements that I need to buy. That Bunnahabhain being one of them, and the other one is a Kalila 12. Just because they're outstanding peated scotches. Big fan of those. So look forward to those reviews coming, or comparisons, I should say, coming. Yeah, as always, I'm sure I already closed out the video, but thanks for watching. You guys have yourselves a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.